Today, now property is costing New Zealanders every day. Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Well, now this post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour, and in commemoration of the death of the Queen, I'm showing my black background today. In New Zealand, the tightening rate cycle, which is currently in full swing with more to come, is crushing the housing market, as illustrated by the August 2022 QV House Price Index, which was just released today. The average house value in New Zealand has fallen by about $89,917 to the end of August, which is down 8.5% compared with the January peak. And if you translate that into a daily rate, then it works out at $424 per day. In the country's largest housing market, Auckland, the average value has slumped to $157,500, and that's 10.2% since the January peak, and that would equate to a drop of around $743 a day between the end of January and the end of August. But the average value in the Wellington region has really spun down, 14.7% actually, since peaking January, and that is a drop of $160,941, which would work out at $959 a day. So this is the worst reported. And QV said that the tight credit conditions and rising interest rate means fewer buyers are competing for an oversupply of stock. This continues to put downward pressure on prices as we head into spring. The average home decreased by 5.5% nationally over the past 3-month period to the end of August, weakening further from the 4.9% decrease in quarterly value that was there back in July, with the national average value now sitting at $973,848. That represents an average annual increase of just 1.1%, down from the 4% annual growth last month. And in the area around Auckland, the average value now sits at $1,383,688, falling 5.9% over the last 3 months, with annual growth also dropping to 1.1%, down from the 4.3% reported in July. QV General Manager David Nagel commented that the residential market is desperate for some oxygen, with a dwindling pool of buyers spoilt for choice with an oversupply of listings. But he said there's no immediate sign of things getting any better, with interest rates likely to rise further and business confidence starting to wane. Wellington and Tauranga are showing the largest 3-month value reductions of the main urban areas, with falls of 9.4% and 7.8% respectively. Dunedin is not very far behind, with a 6.7% reduction in average home values this quarter. We're starting to see some pretty significant value reductions now, especially in the main urban areas where value growth was previously so strong. Market gains from August 2021 have largely been eroded from the falls in the first 7 months of 2022, Mr. Nagel said. Values peaked nationally in early 2022, with the Wellington region hit the hardest since then, with a 14.7% reduction in values since January, and Auckland has also been hit, with values falling 10.2% since peak. Manawatu and Hawke's Bay regions have both come back 9.2% since January, with all those locations having experienced exceptionally strong growth throughout the 2020-2021 cycle. There's mixed views on the extent of further interest rate rises, as well as how these will impact house prices over the next 12 months. Some economists are suggesting that we're close to the peak of mortgage interest rates, while others are predicting house prices may fall a further 25% over the next 12 months. Mr. Nagel said, "With borders now open, I think we'd like to see a few more people entering the property market, either as buyers or renters. However, we're also losing plenty of people heading offshore. The residential market performs much better when net migration is positive, and that time not be too many months away." He said, "It looks as though it's going to get tougher before it gets any easier for sellers. And first home buyers will continue to struggle for finance with tight credit conditions and affordability constraints. Plus, there's still plenty of new homes in the pipeline, which will add further to oversupply and putting further downward pressure on prices, Mr. Nagel said. And I think that's the key point. Prices will probably continue to fall as interest rates continue to rise. As we've highlighted previously, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand is definitely in an upward cycle at the moment. And more broadly, we think home prices will continue to fall. And this is also an object lesson for Australia too, because New Zealand is probably 3 to 6 months ahead of Australia. So we should expect to see continued falls here in Australia too. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.